What if our parents forced us to be transgender in the 80s? Would we all still exist?
Don, I don't know. I think we'd have to send Martha McFly back to the future to flux her capacitor.
Well, get your biffs and your mom ready because here
we
go.
go.
This episode is sponsored by comedyschools.com, where you can learn anything from beginning to advanced. Just contact comedyschools.com and tell them the DUM Podcast sent you so you can get our special price. Now, here's a message from Tony.
Write me, Tony Vicich, at comedyschools@hotmail.com or call me at 818-571-JOKE. That's 818-571-JOKE. Once again, thanks for visiting. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to the DUM Podcast. I am Don Dario. And he is Kev The Allstar.
Yo, what's up? I'm looking at spreadsheets. I'm trying to get caught up. My name is Kev The Allstar. What's happening, y'all?
Yeah, what up, what up, what up? Today, folks, we have an amazing guest. We got the one and only Tony Vicich. Yeah.
How's it going?
Did I say it right?
Coach, the living legend, the one and only.
Welcome, Tony.
You know, the important thing for you guys to know is that, fortunately, the Clippers are playing Detroit today, so I don't have to be glued to a radio or television. You know, because if they were playing someone, if they're playing the Bucks, I would have had COVID today, and I wouldn't have been on this show.
Is that right? Where will you be tomorrow then? As some of you know, the Super Bowl's tomorrow.
Yeah, but I'm talking basketball.
But when this airs, it will be long gone. Well, the Clippers, I mean, yeah, you're a diehard fan, though, aren't you?
I am.
Tony, you're originally from California area?
No, I'm originally from St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
But we had, St. Louis isn't a basketball town. There was when I was a kid, which was like a long time ago, there was the ABA, the American Basketball Association. We had the St. Louis Hawks for a while. But when that league kind of disbanded, the NBA never came to St. Louis. The NFL was there for a long time. No one paid attention.
Yeah.
Then they came back. Then they went, no, not here. We're leaving. So, no, I'm originally from St. Louis. Yeah.
Nice. You spent some time in California, though?
Yeah, I lived there for 30 years.
Dang, what part?
That's some time.
What part of California?
Los Angeles. I mean, I moved there in 1978, and I lived in Hollywood from 78 to 85. For people that don't know how Los Angeles works, it works like this. Everybody moves there to do something, and everybody moves there to be a movie star. Everybody moves there to, ride the horse, kiss the girl, and punch the bad guy, while being filmed doing it. So you get about 5 to 10 years in Hollywood, and if you make it, you move to the hills. But if not, boom, to the valley. So, you go to Encino, and there's a grocery store, and you go, hey, I saw your last movie. And they go, it'll be $9.95, sir. So, I ended up in the valley. So, and I lived in the valley from, the mid 80s. And then I moved out to Chatsworth, which was kind of cool because it's where all the cowboy Western movies were made in the 40s and 50s and TV shows. It's where 24 was filmed. My daughter and I, we had a townhouse way up in the hills in Chatsworth, and we'd be watching 24. We see Kiefer Sutherland on there going, damn it, Chloe, I'll be there in 20 minutes. We go, no, you won't. This was filmed right, a half a block from the house next to that boulder. It'd take you 20 minutes just to get to the freeway. So,
Oh man, that's
Um,
so true. I'm out here in
LA traffic.
California now, and in a place called San Jacinto, California, or as they say, San Jacinto. And yeah, 45 minutes to get to the freeway, man. Um,
yeah,
Tony, how did you go? How long have you been doing comedy, first of all?
since I could say since 1985, because I did an open mic night in December of '85 uh, at the Laugh Factory on Sunset when it was just a little tiny place. When it was a place that people went into accidentally because tourists, because they thought it was the comedy store.
Yeah.
But I didn't really start by the end of '86. It was my job. It wasn't really a great paying job. It paid, you traveled all the time. But from say '86 till about '99 or so, that's all I did nonstop was tour and tell jokes. Dick jokes to drunks is how I used to put it. That was the
You
job.
go to you as a DD then, huh?
Dick jokes to drunks.
So it's been about what? I can't even do math. Is that 40, 50 years?
Yeah, we're coming up on 40, about 40 years that I've been involved in this in some way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah.
I've always performed. I have my main source of income in entertainment has not been as a touring comic since 1999 or 2000.
Wow.
But I've stayed involved. So yeah, so I've been involved either as a comic or as a writer or as a club owner or as a booker or as someone who conducts workshops. We're going close to 40 years. Yeah,
You owned a club?
I did. I
Where?
owned Joker's Comedy Club in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Nice.
I co-owned it. Another guy and I.
How long did you
I,
own
I
it?
had some I had some money, and I was always good at saving a lot of money and then blowing it all at once. So I had some money, and I was booking jokers in Oklahoma City. Guy asked me if I took over the booking, and I did. He was kind of getting ripped off, not by the guy who was right previous to me. He's a good guy, he's still around, but it was that guy didn't know totally what he was doing either. Uh, when you got up to like marquee names,
Yeah.
and the guy was just massively overpaying for talent. And I know talent gets upset hearing that, going, "What do you mean?" But guys who were getting 1,500 for a week, this guy was paying $3,000.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Wow.
So I looked at his books and I go, no wonder you're going broke. I go, you're paying double a lot of these guys. And some of these guys, a lot of them were friends of mine.
Right.
And he goes, well, will you take it over? So I kind of took it over. And from there, I was going to open up my own club. And then he had a lease issue and we went in together. So for a number of years, yeah, I owned a book, Jokers in Oklahoma City. I think it's gone. It's been gone for a long time.
Nice, nice. And when you first started, I don't know, I like to think that, people say comics, something happens in their life, some defining moment that makes them start comedy. Like what made you want to start comedy, stand up?
But I didn't want to. It was, I thought it there was a woman who has been in the industry for a long time, and I was ranting and raving about something in a restaurant, and she was part of a group of people that I hung out with. I was ranting and raving, and she came up to me and goes, you're pretty funny. And I knew I was kind of funny, you know, like I was going to acting school. I was studying acting with a guy named Lee Strasberg at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute. And I'd
Uh,
be doing these really intense scenes, like, something that Tennessee Williams had written. I'm doing, whatever. And people would be laughing. And I go, not like belly laughs, but they'd be laughing. I go, what? Am I doing it wrong? You go, no, you're just kind of funny. And I go, I don't want to be funny. I want to be serious. So anyway, this woman suggested that I try it. And her father was one of the co-owners of the Improv.
okay.
So she goes, come down on Sunday. It'll be an open mic night. It's kind of weird. I go, all right, okay, all right. I live not too far from there. I lived on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
So I go down, and I had just stopped drinking and using drugs a few months before all this transpired. So so something big had gone on in my life. I'd gone from one life to like another life, and I was kind of like a baby again. You know, you have all these
Yeah.
street smarts, and you have all this edge, just from, not wanting to get shot or killed or arrested. Um, and now I was just naive. And so I go down to the improv where I used to, my job, my last year before I stopped drinking, people said, "What'd you do?" I was an unlicensed pharmaceutical rep in Hollywood. So, I used to just go around to clubs with these little vials in my pocket all night. So, you know, I was a bartender too, and that worked out well.
Oh my
You know,
God. You're
It
serving
added
up
to
the
the show, right?
cocktails.
It added to the show, Tony. That's all.
yeah,
You were a prop
yeah.
guy. You were a prop guy.
I was a prop guy. Yeah, I mean, my props was real. So,
There was no
we were,
stunts.
we, my wife and I were watching an FX show called Snowfall about the rise of crack
Yep.
cocaine in Los
Yep.
Angeles.
Yep.
And I used to tell her about some of the people that, when I first met my wife, I was totally honest with her about everything I'd done and I mean, everything, what I'd done and who I'd been and all this stuff, you know. So, and I used to tell her about this one particular guy. So in Snowfall, which is fictitious, but based kind of on Freeway Ricky Ross,
Mhm.
who was a infamous or legendary drug
The real
dealer.
Rick Ross, not the rapper.
Yeah, the real Rick Ross. Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway,
shouts out to Rick Ross, the rapper, as well. But still, we know where
oh,
he got
without
his
a
name
doubt.
from.
Although we
Thanks
all
for
know that
We know where he got his name from.
you
thanks
know
for
who the best
clarifying
rapper of
that,
all
Kev.
time
I
was.
appreciate that.
The best rapper of all time, hands down. And this is a white motherfucker telling you this. Okay, but
I know
I'm
what you're
using
gonna say, Tony.
I'm using my white privilege right now to declare the best rapper of all time was, God rest his soul, Coolio. So
Gangsta's Paradise. You heard it here,
the
folks.
Gangster's Paradise, and then after that, it's like Sugar Hill Gang, and then it goes downhill from there. That's my thought. Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. So anyway, we're watching Snowfall, and who the character, the main character is scored from this crazy Israeli mob guy. And I grab my wife and go, "That's the guy." She goes, "Oh," I go, "That's the guy that we knew who'd call us." You go over to his hotel. You go, "Where is he?" He goes, "Wait, where's he?" We're going to his house. He goes, "No, he's staying at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel." I go, "That's a mile from his house." He goes, "Yeah, but he decided to stay there for a while." So you go in there and he'd be like naked with like a snap brim cap sitting there,
Snapback.
and there'd be piles of cocaine all over the place. And they go, do you want cocaine?" And I go, "Yeah, He goes, "You go ahead, you take cocaine. You take it." He goes, "Well, how much?" He goes, "No, you just take cocaine."
You still
But
know
the
this guy, Tony?
Huh?
You
Yeah.
still know this guy? Introduce
No.
it, brother. That's all. Go
He
ahead. I'm
said,
sorry.
"You go, you take cocaine, but a week from now, you come back with money." No.
Oh,
And what happened was look, I didn't start out to do that. I like to party.
yeah.
I like to have a good time, and a good time is expensive.
Right.
And then you go, well, if we sell some to our friends who, we're doing it with anyway, and
Then
then
it's
that
free.
snowballs into like a
Yeah.
monster deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a common story. Anyway, I stepped from that. Claudia suggested, Claudia Linnell, I'll give a shout out to her. She was the woman. I do that, and I go down to the open mic night, and you got a number. It was before look, it was all different then as far as right now, maybe we're doing a disservice to new comics where we're putting their pictures on flyers and, putting them on main stages,
Yeah. Why?
because it makes people think maybe there's something that they could be someday, but that they're not yet. But it wasn't like that then. You were like, well, where's the open mic night? It's in the fucking toilet. Go stand in the toilet. Tell your jokes to the commode, The open mic night at the Improv at the time was Sunday before the club was open. Sunday before the club was open, like at 5:00. And you went in, and you're in there. There's guys that want to be comics, and there's like homeless guys hoping to get a sandwich. And and you were all given a number, and then numbers were pulled out of a hat by this little tiny guy with giant glasses named Howard. And you pull it out, and as he's pulling out numbers to call him, Claudia's in the back room. She goes, "Pick the yellow one, Howard." And he goes, "What?" She goes, "Pick the yellow one." He goes, "Claudia." And she goes, "Pick it." So she'd thrown a yellow thing in there with like a 6 on it and given me this yellow slip of paper. And that was how I got on stage.
Nice.
So it was her idea that I do it. And then she introduced me to some people. And then I just started getting hired. And, you know, you're in Hollywood for years, it just going audition after audition and not getting anything, you know? They go, "Hey, we're casting you in this play." You go, "Fantastic." You go, "Can you afford the dues?" You go, "What?" You know, it was like that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I remember going on auditions and, my car windows being smashed because someone would steal my coat, or going on auditions and you got a parking ticket and you can't afford just that kind of existence. And then they're saying, "We'll pay you money to come to Phoenix, to go to Florida, to go to Dothan, Alabama." And you're going to give me money for telling jokes?
Right.
Right.
They go, "Yes." Like now they're thinking maybe they spoke too soon. And you go, "Really?"
At that time, Tony, what was your average stage time when you were performing?
Yeah, that was weird. My first paid gig was in Phoenix, Arizona, at a place called Fitty Bones, ran by a guy named Paul Hopp and owned by Michael Finney, who's a world-class magician who's still around. It was a tiny club, like 80 seats, in the back of a disco up in the Biltmore district area up at Camelback. I didn't know any of that at the time. I didn't know where I was. But I get to town and I go, "Well, how much time do you want to go?" "Like 15 minutes. I almost got on a plane and went back. I didn't have 15 minutes. I had a little less than 5, and that 5 wasn't any good.
Right.
So my first paid gig, I'm trying to stretch 15 minutes. People are staring at their shoes, talking, getting up, walking around the club. "How you doing?"
That's crazy to think. So Mike Finney is the one that booked you, or your first show was with him in Phoenix?
Well, yeah, actually so there was a guy named Rich Scheidner who was probably the greatest comic of that generation, of those guys who kind of, made comedy hot in the 80s. I had become friends with him, and he's the one who came into somebody, the Laugh Factory, one night and goes, "You're serviceable." And when I met him so I went up and did a couple open mic nights, and then Claudia goes, "I know a guy that can help you." Now, at the time, I still was like dating the really pretty girls you date if you're doing what I used to do. I was then like really disappointed because I'm not doing it anymore. So you don't have any.
Yeah, you're a loser.
Yeah.
I can't believe I was ever with you.
Listen, when I used to walk into nightclubs when I was doing that, it was like the sea parted. "Hey, how you doing? You want a drink?" And I used to go down to the Melrose Improv sometime at night. There'd be people down there. And it was like, "Hey, how you doing? Come on in. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the line. Come in, Yep. And then once I said I want to be a comic, I was like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
But she said, I know I had taken this UCLA cheerleader to the Improv to see the show. I mean, I was like sober and like going nuts. And I thought, well, I used to not go in the showroom. I just hung out at the bar. So I thought, I'm going to see the show. I'm going to see the show. I'm sitting with this girl, and this guy gets on stage after about 9 comics, and this guy's sweating and he's wearing a raincoat and he's screaming and yelling and his hair's a mess. And people are just staring at him horrified, like this is a mistake. But I'm laughing like hell. And finally, the guy just looks at me and snaps, goes, "What's your problem, buddy?" Like I'm the only one laughing. And I go, "Well, I think you're funny." And I thought, "Oh, shut up. This guy's nuts." So a few days later, Claudia tells me she can introduce me to this comic who's really good and on his way up, and he can help me out. And I go down to meet him at the Improv, and it's him. I go, "Claudia, that guy's nuts." She goes, "No, he's like you. He just quit using." So that was Rich Scheidner.
Wow.
Dang.
He hired me to be his opening act at Fitty Bones. What he didn't tell me was the gig was Wednesday through Saturday, and he wasn't going to be there Wednesday. I thought I had a lifeline. I couldn't really, I go, "Look, I'm not ready for this." "No, you're ready. I'll be there. It'll be fine." I go, "Okay, all right. Doesn't make any difference if I'm horrible or not."
Yeah.
They're paying me $200 for the week. I
Hey
was making
Tony,
$800 a week in a bar.
and is that how they like booked you? They told you that you're serviceable?
That's what Rich said. Rich watched me. Then he called the club and goes, I want to bring this guy in as my opening act.
Yeah.
And they said, fine, because they were getting rich. They would do an hour and a half.
Wow.
Dang.
Dang.
So, but what he didn't tell me was he was only doing Friday, Saturday.
Mm.
Sunday on Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know a soul. I've been doing it 3 months. And Michael Finney was the headliner, you
Okay.
know. So it was, you know.
Yeah, and Michael, and he's still big in the comedy scene, right? Michael Finney? Because you've booked me with him. I've shared the stage with him.
Yeah, he's kind of retired now. I mean, just recently,
Okay.
kind of, you know, he's not traveling the world. Um, you know, he does shows that, you know, he can drive to here, but he
Mm.
still commands like a really good dollar that he like really delivers. You're really getting real entertainment with him. So yeah, it was Michael.
That's cool.
And
That's
then, you
very
know,
cool.
that's how this whole horrible mistake started.
Yeah.
Cool mistake.
Hey, Tony, Tony, when you were booking, when you were, you ran your club, did you ever consider comics who ran their own shows, produced their own shows and, in bars or whatnot here and there? Would you ever consider them like the competition? You know what I mean? Like people who actually sell tickets?
What if I'm trying to understand your question?
Yeah.
If a guy calls me up and goes, "Hey, I have a club in Topeka and I'd like to work your club," is that what you're saying? That sort of thing?
No, more like, hey, I've produced these shows at this bar, that bar. Or would you book me? Or would you
Yeah, I didn't
say
want anything to do
as
with those people.
you
I didn't
don't
want to. I didn't want to. Back then, I didn't want a thing to do with them. You
why?
know. Well, here's the thing. Okay. So your first 3 to 5 years, and usually a person doing that is in their first 3 to 5 years or in their last 40. You're developing, right?
Right?
I mean, have you ever heard of a boxer who's on his way up, who's also managing other boxers?
Hmm. Putting
No,
on his own fights. You got
because you're putting all your energy, your entire focus is in being the champion. So you
Mm,
find out you can't be the champion. But so, especially guys who are developing their first 3 to 5 years, and I tell people this that do my workshops, I go, don't book rooms. I go, yes, you think I'll get stage time because I'll book the room. Yes, you will. However, you also then rob yourself of the experience of having to get someone to book you or
mm,
having to sell your wares.
right.
Also, during that time when you should be concentrating on developing a whole group of words that will make people laugh till they fall out of their chair, because that's like your ultimate. You're worried about selling tickets, the count and who's on the show and who isn't on the show. So you've got so much energy in a day or in a week or in a month, and you're putting your energy into that you're robbing yourself of some of the time for your creative energy. Look, there's guys who have done it. They start out and they did okay. They've done, but for the most part, it's kind of a bad road. So there wasn't a lot of that going on anyway when I was booking my first time at a club in Oklahoma City,
Yeah.
you know. So there wasn't a lot of local comics anyway. But if they were doing a bar show, I tell them, I go, don't even come into the building now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go, this is our bread and butter. It's how we feed our families. And now and maybe that's a wrong way to think. Maybe
No,
my
that's
thinking's
perfectly.
changed. But back then it was like, this is how my partner and I feed our families. We have 26 employees. We're on 3 comics a week. We got we got food bills. We got food coming. We get all these bills. And we're just hoping that people will come out and see the show. We're hoping that the 3 psychotics that we hired will make it to the beginning and the end. They won't get arrested after a show some night because that happened, or they won't melt down on stage, or that's the week they suck, or that's the week they're working on their special, you know, so they're doing all new stuff, you know. So then some kids down the street, you know, at Bennigan's putting on a show, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
So that's how we thought back then. The thinking's changed now, but
Okay. No, I don't think so. I saw this on Facebook the other day. Comic said, you know, I got a hold of these people. They said no because you're the competition. And then, but no, you're exactly right. I mean, you're trying to get stage time is what it is. The main thing, you're trying to get your friends up there, but it takes away from the focus, and that makes a lot of sense, man. Thank you for that. What do you think there's a difference between like a club and a casino though? Like still a club,
well,
right?
it depends what you're talking about with a casino. So
Like,
I mean, there's two different. There's a couple of different type of shows you're going to do at a casino. Like a casino, you know, you want to argue with a casino, and it's like, that's like you sell nickel bags and you decide to go up and start a fight with John Gotti. That's just stupid. You know, the casinos are the casinos, man. There
yeah.
was a big concern in Phoenix about the legalization of casino gambling on a large scale from restaurant and bar owners and club owners way back when before. You know, I mean, look, when I was a kid, there was one place where there were casinos. That was Las Vegas. I guess there were some in Northern Nevada and stuff, but there was no casino down the street.
Yeah.
There was no local casino,
Right.
you know? So a lot of people who were in the hospitality business, hotels, fought against the whole kind of gaming industry stepping out of Vegas and becoming mainstream as it is all over America now. But you know, it didn't really destroy anything. I mean, probably if you had a shitty steakhouse, you know, you were going to go out of business anyway.
Yeah.
But so you go to a casino, some casinos have comedy clubs in them. So I used to work Vegas 12 times a year, you know.
Different comedy clubs.
Yeah, two primarily, the Riviera and the Maxim, both of which are gone now. But the weird thing was the guy who booked those two was a guy named Steve Sharippa, who seemed like he was in a mob. He seemed like it. And he was a real ball buster. He's a real scary dude, you know. And he secretly was going off and taking acting classes while he was the entertainment director of the Riviera. And then he's on Blue Bloods now, but he was Tony Soprano's brother-in-law in The Sopranos. He was Bobby Baklava. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So that was Steve. He'd call you on the phone. Hello, Tony fucking Vicich, Mr. Big Shot Vicich, with your club out there with all those fucking Okie hillbilly inbred fucks. How you doing? I'm doing good, Steve. I got 2 weeks for you. When he took over the Riv, now this guy, the Improv was at the Riv, and then the Improv pulled out with the Harrows, and Steve was running entertainment at the Riviera, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, it's gonna go down to Harris." Yeah, he goes, "He'll hire you maybe once or twice a year. They don't give a shit about you." And you know, I knew Bud, and he liked me, but as far as an entertainer goes, he was like, you know, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
okay, you know. But he goes, "But I tell you what," he goes, "if you'll stay here," he goes, "I won't headline you, but I'll work you all the time. Plus, I got the Maxim. I'll put you on the Maxim a lot." He goes, "So what do you say?" I go, "That sounds good." And he goes, "Just so you understand," because I lived in California, "if you cross the border, you belong to me." So
Oh shit.
you know, if someone called me and go do this casino, you know, off the strip someplace for one night for $400, you're laying home, you think I'll drive over there, do it, gamble, half ticket, yeah, he'd find out. He'd tell you,
Oh,
"What the fuck are you doing off a Boulder highway like some jerk off?"
oh shit. That's mob shit, dude.
So you do a casino, there's clubs in a casino, that's like a club experience.
Yeah.
Then you get into some places where, you know, you're like, that stage, it's behind the bar, there's like a horseshoe bar, the stage behind, and the slot machines and everything's out there, and you don't know what you're working to. You know, people are playing slot machines, moving their walker around. Yeah, so,
Wheelchairs.
Right, like the
there's that.
walk by bar or whatever.
Yeah. So, there's all of the, that's another, I did a lot of those up in Northern Nevada.
In other words,
then there's opening for an
in other
act.
words, wait for a casino to headline as like a main arena type of thing. In other words, like just stay away for now or else. Same thing as the drugs, right? Like you'll just get into it.
This is such an exciting thing when you start. Like I'll hear cynical people, and one of the things that I fight, especially later in life, is cynicism. It doesn't do you any good. All right, there's a lot of people that say they're going to teach you how to do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And then they got a list of complaints. Don't run the light. Make sure you're talking to a microphone, and don't, and I told somebody one time, I go, well, they're just telling you things for their benefit.
Right.
That's not telling you how to tap into your creativity.
Right.
That's telling you how to take this whole month of your life that was kind of crazy and turn it into 2 jokes, because that's usually what a month, the crazy part of your life is worth, is about 2 jokes. As far as writing, look, you watch a movie and it's someone's biography.
Right.
How long's the movie last?
It's not a book.
No, it's 120 minutes. Even a book, 400 pages. You got to encapsulate every day of a human being's life. If you're writing their biography, you're hitting the highlights. You're telling us, you're hitting the highlights is what you're doing.
Yeah. It's like a news update of your life or whatever.
Yeah, someone asked me, tell me about somebody's life one time. I go, well, he was born, he lived and died. That was pretty much it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, preferably 18 and above, it's time for the Jiggity Joke Session.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Very nice, Kev. Very nice. You know what I miss? I miss having the curtains behind me when I do that. It's like we need that again. I think I need to switch it to this green screen right here. All right, man. We're back with 3 contestants at 6. We've got 3 contestants. Count of 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna get this jiggity joke session started.
Can I answer your question?
Yeah.
Hold up. How you did 3 again?
Sorry?
When you did your fingers at 3, hold that up again. I want to see that. Yeah, see, man, no matter how old you are, I have felt terrible my whole life. I have felt deficient as a human being, because I go 1, 2, when I do 3, it's like hard to do.
Yeah.
But now I realize I can just do this.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I never thought about leaning over the pinky.
Yeah.
This is a breakthrough for me as a person.
Yeah.
Because I was like 3, and and it's like when I used to do the Boy Scout oath, and you got to have that one finger in like that. I couldn't do that, which is why I became a war protester in the 70s. Man, if I can't do the Boy Scout salute, I'll get killed. I'll be a fucking Fort Riley, Kansas, spill hot soup on my feet and die of burns. I don't know if you die from feet burns. Do you die from?
Maybe you can. You possibly can.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got that from working at comedy clubs and telling how many groups there are in a group, how many people there are in a group. And instead of doing this, because every time I would come at them, it was like with this one first, it was always like flipping them off. It's like, hey, these many. It's like, I just do it like this now.
You do 2 like that, too, like that.
Yeah, I guess you could do this.
You could be
still
on
3.
1 and 2.
That. 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can do that. 1, 2. See, but here's the problem. When I put up this finger automatically comes up. I can't get this finger to go. Look,
it's because
I'm holding it up. You can see
your name's Tony.
It's Tony. Tony. Vicich.
Hey.
Look at that. It pops right back down.
Tony.
All right, Tony. Since you are a special guest, you get to go first, sir. So you can start whenever you want on joke number 1.
All right, so I'm just gonna read the joke.
You can read it. You can deliver it however you want.
Can I read it like me, or can I read it like Jay Leno?
However you want.
However you want.
Here's something. Have you seen these? The iPhone, it'd be just like soft porn. You know, like when you can finger it, to unlock it, the screen. But now, it's like hardcore with all access passes from facial recognition systems. You know, face shots, selfie.
It was broken up, right? On my
Yeah,
end,
the audio was broken up
the
because
audio was
You want to do it again?
Yeah,
it
do it
was
again.
choppy.
All right. Should I do it as Stephen Wright? I'll do it as Stephen Wright.
I
However,
don't know.
just talk.
It's really weird because we can hear you just fine.
Yeah, is your
It's the
microphone
distance.
because you're
No,
turning
this.
you're turning this way.
Oh, I see. Because I got the here. I got to bring it over here.
Yeah.
There we
Hold
go.
on. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
You know, I
he
did
looked
a
a good Jay
podcast
Leno.
for years, and this whole setup in here is based on my podcast. Then one day I go, I'm going to take a nap during that time. I'm going to have sandwiches during that time. I'm not doing a podcast anymore. All right. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yes.
All right. Stephen Wright or Jay Leno? How should I do it?
Jay Leno again.
I'll say Jay Leno again.
He did something. Have you seen this? The phone used to be like soft porn. You know, like when you control the finger to unlock its screen. But now it's like hardcore porn with all access from facial recognition systems. You know, face shots, selfie.
All right, well, one more time as the other one you said.
Stephen Wright?
Oh, see, yeah, let's try that.
Wait,
The
wait,
iPhone
wait,
used to
wait,
be like
wait,
soft
wait,
porn.
Wait.
real quick. I
What?
think the Jay Leno was pitching out. The audio was at the top. So if you're gonna get
Oh.
loud, just
Pull
don't
back.
be loud. Go.
Like this joke is done by Stephen Wright. The iPhone used to be like soft porn, you know, like when you could finger it to unlock its screen. But now it's hardcore with all access passes from facial recognition systems. You know, face shots, selfie. All right.
Oh,
There it is.
oh,
There it is.
oh, so
Let me do
good.
the last lines in the punchline is Sam Kinison. That was like hardcore porn with facial access passes from facial recognition systems. Ow, ow, ow. You know, face shots. Ow, selfie.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
I think the mixture would have been awesome. That's
The
awesome.
mix-
Good job. Great job.
Hey, Don, you got the skills. I know by time editing and you got the skills. Don has the talent, people. You know he does. You can chop and put it in together.
What is Jerry Seinfeld? The iPhone used to be like soft porn. You know, like when you could finger it to unlock it, screen. But now it's like hardcore with all access passes from facial recognition systems. You know, face shot, selfie. Who are these selfies? Where do these face shots come from?
Who are these selfies?
Who are these
Who
selfies?
are these selfies?
That's awesome. That's,
Oh,
Right, now I'll read the joke as Larry David.
all right.
I ain't telling this joke. No.
Yeah. Nice.
all right.
All right, Kev, you are up, sir.
I'm up. People, and this is why he's Tony. That's why he teaches the classes, you know.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We got joke number 2 for you people. There is no excuse for domestic violence. Now, don't make me tell you again.
Nice.
See, and speaking of voices, I would have loved to have done that in a Denzel Washington voice.
do it.
But I can just get the voice, the lip.
Do it. Go again. Kev, you're up.
I can't do. Let's try it.
Try it.
There is no excuse for domestic violence. Now, don't make me tell you again.
Yeah, that was way better. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. That was so good.
Shouts out, Denzel.
Shout out. All right. Hey, now we can hashtag all these people. Fuck yeah. All right. My turn. You ready?
Yeah.
I should have done what you did. Oh, let's bring it over here. Oh.
Well, so in case you don't know, you can if you make it full screen, you can pull the actual the caption out and put it right underneath your camera.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Where it's like a whole nother site. That's what I did. That way it's directly under, so I don't look like I'm reading. Ah.
Yeah, for some reason, because it's recording, it won't let me pull it up in front of me.
Lame.
Fuck it. All right. But you can hear me if I talk this way, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. All right. You ready? My turn. I like my coffee like I like my women. Damn near white once I fill them full of cream. Wait, who should I say that as? I'm gonna do that voice too.
Richard Pryor. I don't
It's
know.
Dice Clay.
Andrew Dice Clay,
Yeah.
yes.
I
Motherfucker.
like my coffee like I like my women. Damn near white once I fill them full of cream.
That's it.
Oh!
That's it.
All right. That
That was
was
good.
round
Good,
one.
name, Tony.
You are up, Tony.
All right.
All right, let's see what we got here. They haven't written this yet. I'm just gonna read this one straight up. All right.
Okay.
But I'm gonna fuck with it. Kids follow. I'm gonna read it as like you know what I'm gonna read it as? It's like that voice, like that VD thing they used to show you in high school when I was a kid. You know, which made you want to go out and get VD. You know.
Yeah.
Kids follow rules. They can't hurt their parents unless they say these words. I don't love you. I told my, hold on, I'm going to do this Marlon Brando. I'm going to do this Marlon Brando.
So good.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, go again.
Kids follow rules. They, this is young Marlon Brando. Kids follow rules. They can't hurt you. Can't hurt their parents unless they say these words. I don't love you. Stop. I told my kids, they said that to me. They would call the cops and they asked why. And I said, but that's illegal. Yeah, I'll do it as old Marlon Brando now.
All right.
Kids follow rules. They can't hurt their parents unless they say these words. I don't love you. I told my kids, they said that to me. I would call the cops and they asked why. And I said, because that's illegal.
Nice.
Good old Marlon Brando.
Nice. All right.
Apocalypse Now.
You are up.
Check out Apocalypse Now. Somebody's going to just say, I can't find Apocalypse.
Apocalypse Now is the full title of the movie, people.
Apocalypse, like a whole bunch of lips.
Right? I used to date a chick named Apocalypse.
It was called dating. That was called renting.
Nice. All right. Here we go. Enough with the jokes and right into some more jokes. There is no reset button in life, so enjoy every single moment of it. Being with my lady all this time helped me realize this. And that's why I cheat. To keep her happy.
All right, nice.
Hey, man.
All right, my turn. This is number 2, right? Yeah. You can tell a man is old by what he talks about. Young men talk about sex. Old men talk about food. But it sounds like sex. Have you ever heard old men talk about cheesecake? It sounds pornographic. That was a sweet little piece I had last night. I licked it before I ate it. There's still some on my hand. Smell my finger. Smell my finger. Yeah.
Oh,
All right, all right. Tony, you are up, sir.
All right. I'll read this one straight up. Taylor Swift has a college course here in the great state of Arizona. It just goes to show that if you powwow, achieve good enough, you will teach the course too. Did I read that right? If you powwow, achieve powwow. Yeah.
All right. Kev, you are up, sir.
all right. Let's see here. Let me get my screen back. All right. Okay. People think that going to a strip club for breakfast is nuts, but try it once and you'll be addicted. I had an eye-opening experience at the Legs and Eggs. Whoops, I mixed up my lines. Let me start over. Please forgive me.
Take two.
Take two. Oh, let me move this up. Oh, hold on. I'm having difficulties here. Difficulties. All right, let's try it again. Take two. All right, here we go. People think that going to strip club for breakfast is nuts, but try it once and you'll be addicted. I had an eye-opening experience at the Legs and Eggs extravaganza in Compton. And now I take my women like I take my coffee, with lots of ass and titties.
Nice.
All right.
You drinking coffee, right? Oh no. All right, my turn.
Yes.
Are you? Oh, nice. There you go. My dad, what? All right, my turn. You ready?
Ready.
I just had my annual physical. The doctor said, based on these tests, you're going to live another 30 years. I said, wow, that really doesn't work out with my financial plan. I'm only funded for another 15. What should I do? Smoking? More bacon? Fentanyl? We need this to line up. Wait, let me do that again.
You say to line up or lighten up?
We need
Line
this
up.
to line up.
Line up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like chop, line up.
Like fentanyl, we need this to line up, needs to go together. Let me try this. Ready?
Oh, line up.
All right, my turn. Joke number 3. That's 6 again. Joke number 3. I just had an annual physical. The doctor said, based on these tests, you are going to live another 30 years. I said, wow, that really doesn't work out with my financial plan. I'm only funded for another 15. What should I do? Smoking, more bacon, fentanyl? We need this to line up. Nice.
No.
All right, that was it, right? That was joke
That's
number
it.
3 for
That was
everybody.
it.
That's 3.
That's it. All
That's
right,
3
man.
each.
Okay, we have a little game that we play, Tony. I think Kev gave you a little advantage earlier. We wait to tell him until now just because.
Little competition.
But I think you were so into doing the voices that I don't think you're. So the game is you need to figure out of these 3 jokes that you read, which were not yours, who wrote the joke, each joke. Who wrote each joke? Either Kev, myself, or the mixture of Kev and I writing a joke together.
Okay.
Start with number 1. And give us a brief description of it. What was you don't have to say the
So
whole.
the iPhone joke. iPhone used to be like soft porn, like when you could
Okay.
figure it didn't like it scream, but now it's hardcore though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you, Don, on that one.
Oh, Tony.
That was Kev The Allstar.com.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say jokes 2 and 3 were Kevin's.
What was the second one?
Kids follow rules. unless they say these words, I don't love you.
And
That was
that
you,
was
Don?
me. All right.
And
Next.
then the
About
third
joke
one I
3.
would say was Kevin, because it's here in Arizona, and you now live in California, and he still lives in Arizona.
All right,
Yeah.
that was the
Ding, ding, ding,
giveaway.
ding,
All right,
ding.
all right.
Yeah.
1 of 3.
One
Yeah.
of three.
That's all right. That's all right. You got something. We've got many that have
I got
gotten
this out of
0.
this. I know I can make 3 like this. I don't care if
Wait,
I
hold on,
won
hold
your
on.
game.
Let me ask you this, Tony. Do you
I
count
won 1 out of 3.
Fuck
1
yeah.
out of 3.
Fuck yeah.
when you count across fingers? Because some people do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some do
No,
1.
because I get lost around 3 doing it like that.
Do you do
1,
this?
2, 3.
Right.
You know, it's only 2 fingers.
So do you go
I
1,
did
2,
that to a
3,
guy once.
4?
A guy was talking to me one time. He goes, 1, 2, 3. I went, that's only 2 fingers. He went, what? I said, it's only 2 fingers. He's not, knock it off. And I was like, it was like a boss.
So
You
now
know?
will you change your whole life and go count 1, 2, 3, 4?
Well, if they do it like this, that'll change my life. That's for sure. You know? How many fingers?
Nice.
I don't know.
Nice. Well, Tony, thank you for being here, sir. Thank you for adding to the funny.
Thank you.
I wanted to talk about
Absolutely. Thank
the
you, brother.
comedy classes that you do. Comedyschools.com. Is that what it is?
ComedySchool.com now in its
Where-
24th year, maybe 25. Yeah, 24, because I started in San Diego around 2000. I've been in Phoenix since 2001. We have a new free intro session starting in Tempe, Arizona, this coming Monday, February 12th. But you can also join us on Zoom if you're out of state or out of our area. And to find out about all of that, you go to comedyschools.com. We've had people go from first class to national television, people on The Walking Dead, people on Saturday Night Live, people started as comics, became actors. So check out the first session's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you teaching them at nowadays? Is it still
Tempe Center for the Arts.
Tempe Center for the Arts? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Check them out, people. Worth every penny.
Tony, there's a lot of guests that come on here that are starting out in comedy that ask about this all the time. And I'm definitely sending them your way.
I appreciate that.
Why would you say in doing this, because you obviously have tons of experience, I mean, all over the nation in different parts of the industry, why would you say that why would a comic take a comedy course? Like what would be
What
they get out of it?
Well, let me add to that if I can piggyback on that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think where you're trying to lead into this is, why should somebody pay for a comedy course, a stand-up comedy course, when they can just go to open mic anywhere and get plenty of stage time?
Yeah, you know what? That's all valid stuff. First off, that's why we do a free intro, so
Mhm.
people can see it for them. It's not like give us your money and then if it doesn't work out for you, if you don't like the class, too bad. We do a whole free intro so people can check it out. Look, in any endeavor, look, you're always learning. You learn how you learn. Some people learn by seeing, some people learn by hearing, some people learn by doing, some people learn well in a classroom situation. The open mics, look, I started out with open mics, but I didn't do them for very long. I started working pro right away. So I was thrown in with pros. The open mic scene can be kind of a problematic situation because it's like Lord of the Flies time. It's like third graders learning from third graders. You know, usually the one who really makes it is one who kind of peels off. So, what happened to Jimmy? And someone goes, what happened to Jimmy? Yeah, I haven't seen him in 2 years. He's on TV now.
Yeah.
You know, there's a pack herd mentality that is created.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of dysfunction there. A lot of people don't want to be in a bar till 2 o'clock in the morning, waiting to go up for 2 minutes. I don't know. You know, everybody has to make that individual decision. The other thing that I think that we do is in any endeavor, from being a human being to learning any activity, there's that period of growth, and that period of growth has a certain amount of pain in it, emotional, physical, psychological, whatever. It's all pain. There is necessary pain of growth, and there's the unnecessary pain. And what we help people avoid is a lot of the unnecessary pain. Look, you go to the gym, you see guys that are doing bicep curls, they're doing this, like that. And that's why gyms you can always find a place to work out in a gym, even though with the number of people signed up for the gym, people should be wall to wall because people do it wrong. They get frustrated and they quit.
Right.
So we avoid that for you or help you avoid that, you know, and we really put an emphasis on writing, especially nowadays. I think that's one of the most important things. Do we got a couple minutes? I just want to say a couple things.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Keep going.
I was listening to a radio show the other day. I'm old, so listen to the radio. And Kevin Leary from Shark Tank was on, and he was telling the host, she said, you know, what should people do? And he goes, look, I used to tell people there was one way to pay off your college loan, 3 ways to pay off your college loans. Become an engineer, become an engineer, become an engineer. He goes, but now, he goes, I'm putting out huge amounts of money for writers and videographers and photographers and creative. So creative is seeing a resurgence as we're all going to start selling to each other. We used to all go into plants and make cars. Now we're all going to sell to each other more than we have before. And the person who can create something that makes their product stand out, whether it's, you know, a baseball or a building, you know, or a screenplay, that's the person who's going to make a living, you know? So creativity is really going to see a resurgence. People go with AI, sure, because people are going to want authenticity so much. The live comedy experience is going to become an even more important facet in people's lives, because as computers have taken over so much of our lives and been beneficial that we're able to have this conversation today is one of the benefits. But with AI, it's going to take over even more. And after a while, the only thing you're going to know is real is what's in front of you. And the desire to be able to communicate with another human being, whether their communication is them singing and you listening, or them telling jokes and you laughing, is going to become an even stronger desire in people. And then finally, if you look at what's going on with social media, people are making TikTok videos, Reels, Instagram, and they're short. They're 15 to 30 seconds. You make a 2-minute video, who's going to watch it? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. You got to grab them with the first line.
Yeah.
So to be able to write that killer joke that can be on a 15-second video that gets into people's brains, gets them to think about you, becomes more important, and we can help you with that.
Well said.
Very nice.
Well said.
And we have a couple minutes for you. I'll let you when we get it. But can you? I mean, you were in the class, in Tony's class. Give us, why did you take it, and what did you feel you got out of it?
So speaking directly to me, huh?
Yep.
Well, for me, I think I got numerous things, man. I got books and notepads and all kinds of great notes from Tony. The main thing was use this as a stage time, because even in the class, it's an open mic. It's a room full of comics that are there to learn and grow, and you get actual feedback, and nothing on an open mic. I mean, I've hit a couple open mics in the city, you know, through my time, but the difference that I learned was that everyone had money, like real skin in the game, not necessarily like gas money per se, but skin in the game, like paying money. I'm here to learn. Like there's no one really in there dicking around, if you will, you know? And then the feedback doesn't just come from Tony. It comes from your fellow peers that are right there in front of you. You get up in front of the class and you say your joke. So that to me was my stage time, you know? And I don't want to say too much, but I mean, I don't know how many times I've taken the class, but numerous times, because I've always gained something from it. Like I said, it was worth every penny of mine. And then learning not only the stand-up approach of it, but the improv area and the business side of it. You know, I truly don't think, and people watching, followers, whatever, you guys know, I held my own shows, you know, but I waited years before that because of what I've taken from Tony. Now, I haven't opened my own club yet, but maybe that's down the road. But again, these are baby steps. So the networking, there's numerous reasons why I would take the class, but networking, you can get an open mic as well. But the main thing was, I'll say this too, what got me in was my Google search. And when I read Tony's bio, and him working on Sunset Strip. And we all know Sunset Strip. Well, if you don't, you better just do a Google on Sunset Strip. But my guy that I grew up was watching Eddie Murphy and then Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip. So, and then Motley Crue, Girls, 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 you know. But that was it, you know, his legacy, the history, the time, and a lifetime of comedy. And yeah, so I'm me personally, I'm very thankful for Tony and everything I've learned from his courses, and classes, and then the friendship him and I have as well. So
yeah, well, we're very thankful that you're here, Tony. Is there anything else you want to promote? You want to put the website out there, the socials, anything else that you like to promote out there?
Website's comedyschools.com. Get it on my Facebook and Instagram and all that. Just my name, Tony Vicich, Vicich. That's why no one can find it. Who could spell that? But I just want to say that I really enjoyed the afternoon, you know. And when you told me, you know, how long we'd be on, I went, oh, wait a minute, that's going to cut into my nap. But I was going to have some soup. I was
going to say, come on, Tony, say your soup line. He always says naps and soup.
Yeah, soup and sleep. It was where it is. I'd have soup and go to sleep. I'm going to open up that store, Soup and Sleep, for all your soup and sleep needs. Do you like soup? Uh-huh. Do you like sleep? Uh-huh. How about if we had a bed with a soup bowl in it? Well, that would be,
wow.
Can you do that? Yes, we can. You know,
the soup bowl is the pillow.
It's based on, if you're ever in Los Angeles, there's a store called Sit and Sleep. Sit and Sleep. And I just started fooling around with the word sit and sleep, pass out and sleep, fucking sleep, soup and sleep, soup and sleep. That works phonetically. You know, and then I wrote a joke around the sound.
Heck yeah. Where can people follow you online on social?
Tony Vicich on Facebook. That's right there. That's where you can find me. Vicich. We do a lot of shows. We just started a new open mic night that's really hot at a place called the Chill Room. It's a non-alcoholic room that seems to be popular now. I think that's a good thing. We did that Thursday. Friday, we had a show last night, the Tempe Center of the Arts. We have the free intro Monday. And then Tuesday, we've got our pre-Valentine's show. So
cool.
Which is already selling out.
I did want to say this because I want to clear this up because we've had numerous comics on here. Tony, Don, as you know, we've had numerous guests on this show. We've brought up lots of great questions, and now we have Tony in the house right here on the DUM Podcast. Tony, I got a question for you.
For me?
Because we've heard these things saying about your class, and everybody doesn't want to hear it from me because I'm a man. I stick up and I stand up for him. But Tony can stand up for himself. Now, Tony, there's a misunderstanding that you strictly only teach clean comedy. Now, this is true to a point, but I'm gonna let you explain the purpose of why should we learn to write clean.
Okay. Well, first off, you know, I mean, at the beginning, it's just like you learn the chords on a guitar. You have to know those chords in order to make songs. Then eventually you figure out if you do like me and just sit around your house and bang on it, or if you're going to play other people's songs, you're going to write your own songs. You write your own songs, or those songs are going to stand out. But you have to know the chords. So it's learning basic joke writing structure and understanding what you're doing is important. As far as working clean, you probably have a greater range of opportunities if you work clean. Look, you can always dirty up a clean joke, but it's hard to clean up a dirty joke.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're gigging along, somebody goes, we got this show and it's $1,500. Yeah. You go, but it's got to be G-rated, but you know, all your stuff is, you know, about, you know, farts and eating pussy, you know, and you go, well, how do I clean that up? And you can't. And you can't, and you kind of lose the opportunity.
Right.
So look, without getting too heavy about it, all right, but it'll get a little heavy. We all know that there is a natural order to human development. And if you're introduced to certain experiences too soon, it can actually break that development down. Like the kids who are hanging out in the corner, smoking and drinking and stealing cars at 13. If you go back, can you hear me? You guys got me?
Yeah.
Okay. If you go back like 30 years later, those same kids are on that same corner. They don't grow. So, you know, if you're writing all your sex stuff and bodily function stuff early, you're not really exploring all the avenues and vistas of your persona, of your personality. So it makes you a stronger joke writer. It makes you a stronger performer. All the great ones that we all emulate or strive to be, whether it was Pryor or Carlin, or any of those people, they had to start out working clean just because of the culture at the time, and then when we were introduced to them, like Pryor's Live on the Sunset Strip, that was breakthrough stuff. There'd been no Eddie Murphy without Richard Pryor and Lenny Bruce and George Carlin going through what they went through, but they became great comics having to work clean to be on the Ed Sullivan Show or the Mike Douglas Show, which is how you broke through in those days. So it's just a greater way to learn. Then later on, you find out you're the greatest dick joker of all time. And like, look, I always said this: if I got the next Eddie Murphy in my room, I don't want to stop that.
Right.
I want to encourage that.
Right.
But at the same time, what if you're not Eddie Murphy? Like, I like Eddie Murphy, but I'm not Eddie Murphy. I like Kinnison. I like Chappelle. I like Burr, but I'm not them. So why do I want to be them? I want to be me.
Right.
And let that take me wherever it takes me.
Well said.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you. The easiest way that I was able to ever explain that was, well, let's look at NWA, right? Now, they have their name and then they have an acronym for the name.
Yeah.
That's one way. And then also rappers or gangster rap at that, you didn't get no airplay, radio play. You had to switch up a certain couple amount of words because everyone didn't have the just bleep and to bleep out certain words. You had to rewrite a little bit of your song. So the gangster rapper had to change it if he wanted that type of exposure, which was the radio or music videos, because it got you a whole nother avenue. And then they came out with what? The little parental advisory explicit lyrics or clean version. You could get clean radio or explicit. Some people went that route. Some people went the clean version. It's the same thing. I mean, to a point. But thank you, Tony, for greatly explaining that from you. So you've heard it from him, folks.
Yeah. And thank you very much for that information right there, Tony, which everybody can get if you take a class. And I'm gonna speak from experience, man. That just taught me because I am that pussy and dick guy, and for everybody else that is out there and does that comedy to start with, what you just said put me on stage and me saying those things, and I go through this feeling of uncomfort, like I'm throwing it out there. It could land, it could not. A lot of the times it doesn't, and that's where it's like, so then that right there, working clean, just eliminates that, that pain on stage. So I mean, that's what I learned. So thank you for that, Tony. Thank you for being here, man. Anything else that you want to promote? You got shows coming up or anything?
Yeah, I have a show. I don't know when this will air, but Tuesday, February 13th at the Tempe Center for the Arts, we have our annual Valentine's show. Why on the 13th? Well, for two reasons. There's a lot of anxiety behind trying to get a reservation for anything on the 14th, and the space wasn't available on the 14th. So we took the 13th. So we've got that coming up at the Tempe Center of the Arts. Tickets at tempecenterofthearts.com. We do a monthly show at the Chill Room in Tempe, Arizona. It is a clean comedy workout. We also do Awatuki's Got Talent in Awatuki at the end of the month, and that's anything goes, but you can actually win money. We always have a lot of stuff going on. Just start following us and check it out. Maybe we'll have something that you'll like.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for being here, man. Everybody go to comedyschools.com. Kev The Allstar, thank you again for being here, sir. Thank you. Great to see you. You got anything you want to promote, sir?
Maybe again, it depends on when this is out. I'll be performing Saturday, the 17th, February 17th at Alak. The name skips me on the acronym, but it's ALAC. On the 17th at 7 p.m. The tickets are out there. You can follow me on any social media platform. It's Kev, Kev, space THE, space ALSTAR. There's no hyphen between the All-Star, right? People get it right. It's not all one word unless you're going to my website, which is kevtheallstar.com. Now we're one word. So anyway, follow me on TikTok, Twitter, or X, YouTube, Facebook business, and Instagram. And of course, follow the DUM podcast always. And Tony, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you guys both. For me, I am taking a little writing break. I need to get some more material before I start booking more shows. Meeting a lot of people out here. But always follow the DUM Podcast on YouTube, Patreon. As for me, I started a TikTok, Don Dario comedy TikTok. I'm doing a little Make It an Afraid series, putting some goofy stuff that I'm just getting bored at home. So this is what I'm doing instead of going out.
Say the name again, Don.
Don Dario comedy.
No, it's not Naked and Afraid. What's it called?
Oh, it's not Naked and Afraid. It's my mockumentary of Naked and Afraid, where they're naked and pretending they're scared of the editors putting in some sounds and stuff. So
Right, but what do you call it though?
I call it Make It and Afraid.
Naked. I just
Because
want
I'm out
to
in
make
California.
it.
I'm out in California. I'm in the entertainment industry, which is a monster, and everything dealing with all that it is like a jungle. It is like the wilderness. It is wild, and it's scary, man. It's freaking scary. Like Tony was saying, the mobsters and everything, and lots of ocean. So
Yeah.
it is scary. But yeah, follow Don Dario Comedy on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Follow all my friends today, from Kev to Tony to everybody that's been on here, man. Thank you everybody so much. Thank you guys for being here, and remember to stay safe and have fun in life, folks.
And as always, live to laugh, laugh to live, because without laughter, what's the point, people?
True. Peace.
Peace.
Bye-bye.